Hi, hello, welcome. How are you? All of the above. I made some spring stuff and I can't wait to show you. Lots of greens, lots of flowers. All the stuff makes me happy. I'm Whitney with Crafty Thoughts and Whatnots, and thank you for joining me. So, first one, I got some wood from Amazon. This little two pieces I pulled out of this box here. Amazon scrap wood, got it. It's in my Amazon shop if you want to take a look at it. It's in my description, in my linked comment below. But I grabbed these two thin pieces. I want to say this is veneer. I'm not absolutely sure. It could be veneer. I don't know what it is, but I like the color, even though I cover most of it. So what I'm going to do is take these two and I'm going to tag them. I'm going to turn them into a tag, but I'm going to tape them together so I can cut them both at the same time. Now this is a miter box, I believe. I don't remember where I got it. I got it locally. I didn't get it online, but you can get them online. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them local. I got mine at a Lowe's home improvement store. Purchase yours where you see fit. But I'm taking it and I'm lining it up with the 90 degree or the straight way. If you see there, the straight way, I'm lining it up there. And then I'm putting the saw at the 45 degree angle. This only has two options. It's 45 or straight. And then depending on how you hold the wood in there. So I turned them into tags because I liked it. And that's if you need to know the because, it's because I wanted to. That's why we do these things, to make us happy. So I'm going to put the little hole in the top now. Now this is a hole puncher I got years ago from scrapbooking. I don't even know what brand it is, but it's just a small little hole puncher. Now you could put a bigger hole in there if you have a regular hole puncher or if you have a crocodile. I do have one, but I didn't think I needed one because of how thin this wood is. And it gave me a little bit of pushback, but not too horrible. So I put a little tiny hole in the top of each one. And this second one was a little bit thicker. So here I'm just using my complete upper body strength. That's right. Don't judge me. A little thin piece of wood gave me a workout that day. Pop it through. To be, in all transparency, I have had carpal tunnel surgeries on both of my hands. So that is why this thin little piece of wood is testing me. Again, it doesn't matter that the carpal tunnel surgery was like 15 years ago, but still, whatever, it happened. It's part of me. It's my history. I can claim it. These little holes are the best part of our tag. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to use this rub-on transfer from Dollar Tree in portions of it. And I wanted to make sure, because what we're going to do is I'm going to apply some paint. We're also going to use some really pretty IOD transfers today too. But for this one first, it's the bottom tag. I'm going to layer these tags together. I wanted to put some little lines on here so I have an idea of how much I want to paint, because I don't want too much paint on the one tag. So this is just, this is folk art chalk paint in the color cottage white. I just put it in a little convenient cup for painting. And I'm showing you how I'm just trying to make the paint strokes look kind of like weathered or distressed on their own without painting the whole tag. Now, I get a little bit overboard. I kind of go over it. I'm covering up my pencil marks for sure. And then later you're going to see I'm kind of going just up, down, left, right. I'm kind of making it look weathered. Some of that gets, most of it gets covered up by another tag. And also we're going to take a sander to it also. So I'm not sure if any of this actually matters. You know what I'm saying? But we'll just watch my chaos happen and see how pretty it looks in the end. Sometimes I'm sitting back and I'm watching these guys and I'm wondering, what am I doing? And at the end, does it even matter? Because when we get to the end, see here, I'm going to take my sander and I'm going to try to distress it more to make it look even more roughed up. So you could honestly, you don't want crisp, clean lines on it. I wanted it to look kind of weathered and kind of just haphazard or haphazard? Haphazard or haphazard? Is it hap, H-A-P? Or half, H-A-L-F? Who knows? Anyways. Saw something shiny. Sorry, guys. As you see here, after we sand everything, even then I took a little bit more to the sander at the top of this one just to blend that in. And we're going to cover the two like this. But what we're going to do first is we're going to apply our rub-on transfers. So this pretty tulip transfer has some words on the back of it. I was just kind of playing around with placement. This video today, you'll see me use a lot of placement ideas, and you'll see me mess around with a lot of those types of things first before I commit to how things look or how I set them on or how I apply them or glue them down. And this video, I can tell you guys with 100% true crafting honesty, I had somewhat of a plan, but a lot of this just kind of came together. So that it may seem like, actually not may seem, it will seem like there are a lot of steps. So now our second one is, we're going to use this one. It's called Ephemeral Melange. And these are gorgeous. These IOD transfers, these rub-on transfers. Now, they are a little pricey, but they are worth every penny in my opinion. They are great quality, and look at how much you get out of this book. Now, I get all of my IOD products from Lori at miltonsdaughter.com. That is a wonderful relationship that has blossomed from Crafty Cathy's page. So if you are a first-time customer and you want to use Lori through Milton's Daughter, you can go to my description in my video. You use Whatnots 10 for 10% off your first purchase on IOD products, and then there's an incentive program when you come back and you do repeat business with her. She's a great person. If you have questions, you can always just email her. But all IOD products you see me use, I got from her on her website, and she's just great. So I'm cutting out the ones I'm choosing here. Now I'm going to layer some more of this Dollar Tree springy type rub-on transfers behind it. So this is a little bit of a bee theme thing going on here. This one's a little bit of a honeycomb design. And then I'm also going to just kind of keep taking placement to make sure I'm going to take another one of the tulips. This one's by itself, and I'm going to kind of Frankenstein it. So we're just going to chop this tulip in half, and I'm going to see how much of it I want covered and how much of it I don't. Now, some of these things do sit on top of each other, and it does get layered. That is A-okay. You can layer your transfers. I have used many different transfers between IOD, Dollar Tree, Amazon transfers. Essential Stencil has transfers. All of the transfers I have ever used have never had a problem layering them. And then you'll see me rubbing on the transfer after I'm done pushing, basically rubbing it down on the page. I take that paper up, and then you're rubbing it with the clear plastic. I want to say it's, oh my gosh, I just literally took... Sorry, guys, I'm watching pretty stuff, and it's very hard to concentrate and tell you what I'm doing when I'm watching it pretty. So you see me here? This is burnishing. I'm burnishing the transfers, no matter what brand it is. It's an IOD thing that IOD tells you to do it with. I do it with all of my transfers, no matter where I get them from. You're burnishing them. It's almost like buffing it, or kind of just making sure that it's down 100%. Now I'm going to actually put my tags together. You see me draw that line. That's just to make sure that I'm not putting glue all over the place. Here, of course, you guys know me. I clean up the back of everything because I'm crazy for that. I have to have the back of things look nice. It just looks pretty. It looks pretty because I look at the back of everything. I look at the back of greeting cards, birthday. You ever open your birthday card and you just look at the back of it? I don't know. Some people might think that's rude. I'm not looking for a price. Sometimes there's a cute little, like a heart or a flower, and I love that stuff. I'm a sucker for anything like that. But look after all of them together. Like, you could stop right now, and she's pretty. She's all pretty by herself. You don't need to add more. But guess what we're going to do? We're going to add more, because I was thinking, we need to add more. So I'm taking the black from this little pansy here on this seed packet from the IOD transfer. And I also have, now I'm going to take this laser cut piece of, I guess it's a cardboard, a thicker cardboard. And I'm going to paint this flower black. And that's to pull the black out of that pansy and that little tiny little bit of black there. That's what I'm going with. That's my excuse. I love mixing black with these spring colors. Lately, it's been my thing to just mix black in with a lot of Farmhouse and then a lot of different colors you wouldn't think goes together. And I've been doing that. I did it for Valentine's. I'm doing it on this one. So first we want to do is with any IOD, well, it says IOD, but most of the time any transfers, you want to seal them with something, whether you choose to seal them with Mod Podge or whatever. Majority of the time, I know IOD says to use wax. So this is a Folk Art clear wax that I use. Now the clear wax is going to basically cause problems with hot glue. I did try with hot glue. It did not work. So I had to get my Star Bond out. But you could use Gorilla Glue, your super glue, any other type of glue other than hot glue, and you will be A-okay, and your transfer will, anything you glue on top of the waxed item will be fine. You do want to wait for your wax to dry. Sometimes it takes 15 minutes. I just kind of let mine sit to the side. I got a little bit of glue on the top here, so I'm using my, little stylus tool here to just kind of dot some black paint back over that. Now we're going to move on and create a cute little tag topper, almost like a bead. This is almost like a beaded garland tag, cuteness, happiness, joy thing that I made. I don't really know what you'd call this. So this is a black twine I got from Amazon a while back. I just, again, was going with the black theme to pull these all together. And of course, obviously the back transfer from Dollar Tree, that's black also. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to put on 2 beads. I want to show you guys, I'm only doing 2 beads, and here's real time. So I'm feeding the bead through one of the ends of the jute twine that I have here. And once I get that through the first the first string, I'm going to take the second string and put that through the same bead. That way you've got the first two beads going down to your tag, goes through both, you know, both strands of the jute goes through both of the beads, if that makes any sense. So now what I'm going to do is now take them separately and put about 4 beads on each side, because we're going to make like a little circle here, if you can see here. So we got 2 beads here, 1, 2, and then on each side we've got 4 going left and right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta-da! And today we learned that Whitney can count. It's because it's all with one hand, trust me. Kidding. Oh, anyway, so I tied this in a bow. I double knotted it a few times, but I should have cut it off. I don't know. I like the bow on it, and I put a little bit of star bun on the top to make sure that that never comes undone, ever, ever, ever. Even when it, you know, no longer exists, it will still be tied and cemented there. So this is what it looks like. I love how it turns out. It's now the wood is a little thin, and I'm thinking, you know, Whitney, this is kind of a little odd. Why would you pick such thin wood? I don't know why I did it. I think it's cute. I like the way it looks. This is also very lightweight, so this would look good like if you're bringing somebody a bottle of wine, or maybe even like one of those, you know, sparkling apple ciders as a gift for someone, you know, a spring day, you know, brunch or something, whatever, or even just a hostess gift, or just a present or a Mother's Day thing. I don't know. I just thought this was fun, and I felt the need to put flowers on something, and this is what came from my mind. You guys tell me what you think. I love how she turned out. And I like the little pops of black. You guys tell me what you would do if you liked it too. Now, our second one. This one's got many, many steps, but stick with me, guys. I promise you it'll be worth it, because this turned out great. So this Dollar Tree round came from Dollar Tree, obviously, a while ago, and I've seen them in the stores since they've come out. Now this takes patience and time. I did speed this up about 8 times, but I methodically put heat on this, and I only moved my little spackle knife when it would give. I did not force it whatsoever, and I was able to get this thing off, and it made me so happy. So this did take time as far as patience. I mean, I was able to do it all within the same amount of time. I didn't have to walk away or anything. You know, I didn't rage quit. No, nothing like that happened. But you'll see some of the wood's getting a little baked there, a little toasty. But we're gonna paint it. Or sorry, I didn't paint this. I ended up staining it, but I thought I was gonna paint it. So just make sure you have the patience. And then right here at the end, when it pops off, you get that satisfying, wow, it's in one piece. Good job. Now, I sanded this. You don't really have to, because what we're going to do is we're making a layered wood round sign. So I'm going to eventually just use the back of it. So also our next ingredient, very important. You must add 1 wiener dog to your project. It's very fun, inviting, and it's also cathartic, and it's my therapy. She's beautiful. And look at her cute little legs. So there you go. You guys wanted to see. There's Tootsie. Zoe was on the ground. She's a little wiggly, but Tootsie likes that. So Tootsie says hi. She's still here, guys. Now, we got the hello separate from that round. Now we're going to grab also another round. You can get wood rounds everywhere. This one, I was lucky enough to find them at my Dollar Tree. And we're going to apply the Waverly Antique Wax to pretty much everything. So obviously this round we're going to do. Now this is the back, so I'm going to apply it to both sides, because I want the back of this to look very, very nice. So I am applying it. Also, I love the way that it grabs the wood grain. It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, the way these things look together. I can't help how well this antique wax looks. Now this is a little sloppy because this is the side we're going to use, that we're going to layer things on top of, but look how pretty she is. And then now we're going to also take the same baby wipe, and we are going to apply the same antique wax to our hello sign, to the little hello piece that we're going to put on the top of the sign. This right here, I had this in my mind. I just didn't know if I was going to be able to actually get that hello off of the wood round. And since I did successfully, I was a happy girl. Now, filling my little hole there on the top with a little bit of hot glue, and then once it solidifies, we just took a little bit of the finger sander to get that straight. And now we're going to use Waverly chalk paint in the color Celery, and we're going to put a nice coat of this on one side. I did the edges as well, but just put nice one coat. I only did about 1.5 coat. You know, I didn't actually wait for anything to dry and apply a second coat. So you can still see a little bit of the wood grain through it, but we're going to apply so much stuff to the front of this. Some of these things were planned, some of them weren't. So this little stripe is a planned stripe. Now I'm going to add some stamps to this. Now these, I plan on using IOD stamps here. I'll show you in more detail in a second when we get to the stamping part, but I'm measuring the stamp to make sure I'm putting enough space to paint. I'm putting a paint stripe through the middle, right? I want the letters to fit, because you can't, You can't have a stamp bigger than the stripe, you know what I mean? So I wanted to make sure my stripe was the right size so that the stamp actually fit in there perfectly. And let me tell you, I got it right on. And I thought I made it a little bit bigger, but I got it straight on. So this was somewhat of a happy accident, because a sad accident would have meant that I would have had to put more paint down. But anyways, make sure you get your edges, let that dry. So now with my leftover paint on my paintbrush, again, that was white paint that we put in the middle of that. That's a folk art chalk paint as well. I'm just kind of dry brushing. It's not even a dry brush. I'm dusting the edges to kind of make it look just a little farmhousey. Doing the same thing with the hello sign, but for this I grabbed a chip brush because the paintbrush was putting just a little bit too much. It was coming on a little bit too thick, so I'm just dusting this one to make it look a little bit, make it look dusty. I want it to look farmhouse dusty, like it's been sitting there. You notice how you can say that something is farmhouse, and that's how you can get away with things being dusty? You'd be like, oh yes, my living room, it's totally farmhouse. That's why nothing's been dusted. Dust bunnies are farmhouse. You didn't know? At least that's my story. I'm sticking with it. What is that? It's farmhouse. Just like anytime you burn anything you make, in my family, my mom always said, oh, it's Cajun style. My mom's going to kill me. For real. Anytime you burn something... You're like, what is it? Oh, it's Cajun style. She did that with cookies, with everything. Sorry, talking over. This is the same baby wipe that we used to stain everything with. Now I'm just taking it, and I was going to wipe off the dust. And look, again, another accident. That turned out so great with the leftover wax that was on there. So now it's got a nice kind of, muted, dusty. I love it. Anyways, I love it. So that was a happy accident. So now I'm showing you, I'm going to put our the word spring in these stamps. This is a stamp set I just got. It's called Letterpress. You get 3 different styles or fonts of letters and numbers on Letterpress. Again, miltonsdaughter.com, 10% off your first order, and she treats you very well on repeat business. I guarantee you. Now this here is called a thin mount. This is $3. This is not bank breaking at all. A thin mount for $3. I bought 2. One I'm keeping solid, and this one I'm cutting in half. I love the lines on it. They're very helpful. But here, this is also the cutting mats from Dollar Tree, which you can do the same thing with, which I bought both, so I can show you guys. They both work. Now, I forgot to use the Dollar Tree one to show you because I only stamped one thing. But I'm going to use the thin mount from IOD to use this to line up this. So I'm taking the letters off of my stamp set here, and I'm just lining them up. Now, the first time you use anything, you have to kind of rough them up with some sanding, with a little bit of a sanding block. I already did that. So here I'm just kind of lining them up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the thin mount because I like the lines on it. The lines were helping me stay even with the painted line that I put on our wood round. And I just wanted to make sure it stayed that way. So with them facing up, I was able to then put it down, and now the spacing stays the way with the stamp. I saw this, I believe I watched Sammy use this from Unicorn Dust Designs. This was one of the best things. She's very informative too. I know a lot of you guys already know her and see a lot of her videos. She uses a lot of IOD things too. But look how perfect that is. And it's meant to be. Now, this type of font that I chose off of the stamp set is a little bit of a kind of a weathered look. So it's not a crisp, perfect little, individual letter. Now, that turned out great. Thank you. I was nervous, but it turned out great. Now, this here is IOD transfer called Painterly Florals. I used this last year on a sunflower video I made. You guys will remember my sunflower video. If you haven't, you can take a look at it in my video. But I want to use this circle here because the sunflower came with some really pretty, I guess those are peonies, and some lavenders. So I want to take this circle of lavender. Now, this lavender circle transfer was a last minute idea. I just said, what else can I throw in here with the kitchen sink to make this the longest, easiest project? And it's just one of those things where you get into your craft mode and you kind of just, you get lost in the day. I'm in Las Vegas, so it's like you go into a casino and you go out when the sun is up and you come out when the sun is down. It's the same thing with my craft room. Sure, I have a window in there, but I didn't look at it, nor did I look at the clock. But I was like, I could put a transfer on here. Let me go get a transfer. Oh, I could put that. Let me put some more. Look at antique wax. Look at that. Ooh, look, a dog. Sure, put that in there. What else you got? Oh, look, something shiny. It's just how it happens, Let me know if you guys ever find that. You're like, man, I've been in here for how long? I forgot that the world existed. So I cut this out with, it's actually kind of easy to get out because obviously I didn't want to use the middle pieces. And then we're applying this the same way we did the seed packet on the previous DIY. You're just going to make sure that you apply all the pressure, and then as you're peeling it up, you can push them back down to get it. Obviously I'm burnishing it. And I'm taking this little extra piece that I cut out because I cut the circle so that it didn't go across our letters. And I'm just going to take that extra little piece that I had and I'm going to apply it to the top just in case it peeks through the letters. I mean, I don't know if I even lined it up if it did or not, but it made me happy. It made me happy. So again with the wax, because I have a decent amount here. Now I didn't put it across the whole wood round, but I did put it directly in the circular fashion on top of our rub-on transfer just to make sure. And I let the wax dry, but I don't buff it because I don't want my things to be shiny. Now here I'm going to show you. This is what happens with wax and hot glue. I thought, and I literally forgot that I used it, and then look, just comes right off. It just doesn't work. So I went and got my Starbond thick adhesive and my accelerator. If you don't have Starbond, you can get some through my Amazon link. It's in the description and pinned to my first comment. I love this stuff. It works on every surface I have ever had a problem with. So it is wonderful stuff. But you can also use E6000, Gorilla Glue, Super Glue. If you like the Dollar Tree glue, you can use any of those glues. I just personally love Starbond for anything else. And it's also what I have copious amounts of because I bought a starter pack and I'm still using it a year later. Now, I've got these styrofoam circles from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use both of them because I want thickness, because we are going to place florals and greenery around the outside. This can apply to every season, by the way. This is a very good system to use if you want to make a floral round. Now, I'm going to use these eucalyptus or succulent picks from Walmart. I got them on clearance after Christmas. They're for 50 cents a piece. Can't be mad at that. I did not use all of them, but I'm going to show you here. My first run was I just cut them off the stems only. I didn't cut them any further than that. And I just started sticking them in to see how it would look. And you're going to see in a second when I grab the round, that's very sloppy and it's not what I wanted. So I took them all out and I'm going to now start to clip them. I'm going to show you how I clip them. I felt maybe that too much of them would be hidden, but that is exactly what I needed to do. So I'm leaving the bundle closest to the stem together, and then I'm going to cut this middle piece out. So we have two smaller bundles. Basically, I'm taking the stem and I'm cutting it into two pieces each. And here we're just going to start gluing all of the pieces in because they are the perfect height. And also you still see the wood round behind it. You can see the stain and you can see the light dry brushing dusting that I did around the edge. And you can't see the styrofoam at all. Once we place our circle on the top, you won't be able to see through that, so I don't need to cover it with Spanish moss or anything. Now, I'm taking the original hanger that came with the actual wood round, and I'm just adding some beads to it. Now, these are Amazon beads that you can also get through my link, but I'm nothing if not like everybody else, and I do have a lot of Dollar Tree beads mixed in there with that from other Dollar Tree signs that we've saved things from, or you cut off the hangers on different things that now pretty much a lot of stuff from Dollar Tree's got a lot of beads, so you're able to get that there if you need to. And I just did one large bead and then I believe 6 small beads. I just looked for a pattern that made me happy, made my crafty heart beat double. And then I just used hot glue and glued it down. And look at that, you can't see through there. I was so happy when you couldn't see through there because I really didn't want to put Spanish moss in there at all because then it would fall everywhere. But look how pretty that is. Now it turned into more than I wanted it to be, but it's everything I couldn't be more happy with, if that makes sense. It's more steps than I had originally thought it should be or planned it to be. You know what? The words putting into sentence making is not happening at the moment, guys. It ended up being more involved than I originally had planned, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I cannot help but smile at her every time I see her. It's on my garage door right now. I can't help it. I had to put it up. Everything I put up, I leave out for a while so I could stare at them. You guys tell me what you think. I had such a ball making this one. I really did. It turned out so springy, so happy. Okay, now our last 2 DIYs had a couple hiccups here too. Lots of little baby steps, but stick with me, guys. I love you for staying here. Trust me, it'll be worth it. I know you guys, and I think you're going to be happy. Now this right here, these are 2 little dollar boxes I get at Michael's by the registers. They're $1 each. They're just little wooden boxes by, I think the brand is Art Mind or something. So I'm taking the hangers and the sawtooth hangers and the jute ropes off the back of them, and then just sand that just a little bit, get some of that off. We're going to use the same celery color chalk paint from the previous because we're kind of I'm trying to keep things together, even though the first one kind of has black and white and brown. Anyways, I try to keep things as a theme when I make them in videos, but sometimes they just don't match, but they're so pretty that it doesn't matter. So cover these girls 100%. Now I didn't we're going to put some scrapbook in the middle of them so you don't have to paint the deep inside. But see right there, make sure you get around the edges on the inside border. Now, this was my favorite color chalk paint from Folk Art. It's called Spanish Moss. I got a little tiny sample bottle 2 years ago, and I abused it until it was completely gone. I finally got a big bottle of it. I remembered to order it. I love this green color, so I'm going to use it on our spring. So look at that dry brushing technique there. That's you know, I don't know, we call it distressing if it's not white or black distressing because it's still Farmhouse, but look at the beautiful detail that that darker green puts onto that celery. The two colors just, I mean, I wouldn't have thought originally because the celery color almost looks a little minty to me, but this green color is just beautiful. Look at the difference. I couldn't help but do it. And then don't forget to do the insides. Right here, you're not going to see that I looks like I didn't do it because I skipped it, but you'll see in the next little shot there that you do the inside of those borders too. You just have at it with the paint and just dry brush all over it. So here I'm going to do the second one, but I'm not going to make you guys watch me painstakingly dry brush all the edges of all this. Ta-da! So look, now you can see I did the insides. And yeah, wow, look at the outside. See there, on the inside edges, they've been dry brushed as well. Now we're going to move on to our scrapbook paper. Now this I got at Hobby Lobby in a pack of, I think, 50 of them. You get 10 each of 5 different colors of wood grain, and it's a nice thick cardstock, and it's really pretty. So this is a piece I had left over, and I'm just going to have to measure. Now this is not my favorite method because measuring is not my strong suit, but I made it work, and I didn't mess it up too bad, and I didn't waste any paper, so I was pretty proud of myself for not wasting any paper. Normally my cuts are a little bit off here and there, and I'm like trying to guesstimate, and sometimes you just can't do that. So we're going to add a little rope border on the inside, but that was for me planning ahead of saying, okay, well, if you cut the paper crooked, you know, we'll do that. Now I'm using an Aztec glue runner. I get them at Hobby Lobby. I love them. That stuff is a good permanent base. I don't really feel the need to use any other type of adhesive when I'm putting these in signs. I've been doing that since I started DIYing, so it's just a glue runner you get in the scrapbook section. Now I made sure that my long sign is vertical and my shorter sign is horizontal. You'll see why once we add our accoutrement at the end. But here's a Dollar Tree rope. Now this is the thinnest rope I've gotten at Dollar Tree. They come in different sizes, you guys. I've seen maybe 3 different sizes or gauges of rope, the nautical rope from Dollar Tree. This is the thinnest one, and it still felt a little bit too thick for me. So I have this big old thing, this big spool of jute rope. I think it's jute rope or burlap rope. Hold on, I'm gonna show you a second. Burlap rope. I got this from Amazon. This is also listed in my Amazon shop should you want to buy the exact same stuff. But you know, you could use yarn or string or twine or whatever you have. But if you see the difference in gauge, I wanted it to be thinner. So this actually worked out perfectly for me. And all I'm doing is just hot gluing it around the edge. And it's just that easy. This goes in and it adds a little bit of, I wouldn't say, well, I'm going to say Farmhouse, but it's because you guys know I'm going to say Farmhouse, but it adds a little bit of rustic. It's just another texture. It's just another touch of cuteness. It's just another, oh my words, Whitney. It's just cute, okay? It's cute. Look at that. I love it. And now you could go anywhere with this. You could add a tulip in the middle. You could just put a bird. You could do anything. So here is your base, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I've got these Scrabble tiles. Now you can get Scrabble tiles. I have seen them at Dollar Tree in smaller batches. I got the massive 25 million double jillion set from Amazon. It was not expensive. I could not tell you the price off the top of my head, but again, it is listed in my Amazon shop should you want to purchase the same pack if it's available. It's just there. It's just wooden letters, Scrabble tiles, complete set. It says 100. So there's 5 bags in there of the alphabet. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some black to it. So I am going to color the edges with Sharpie. This comes back to bite me. And I'll tell you, you guys will see why. Not horrible. I was able to fix it. But for a second, I almost had to go cry in the car. But I didn't. I collected myself and I moved on. But it's all right. I'll show you guys. Then I left it in here so you can see it. Now we've got the words bloom and grow because that's springy and it makes me happy. So here I've colored all the sides of it. A couple of them I got on the back, and then I kind of did the edges with the Sharpie. So we're going to put bloom on the vertical one, and we'll put grow on the horizontal one. And what we have here is I got these cute little flower picture tabletop decor things from Dollar Tree. They had 3 different kinds. I didn't like the blue one, but I grabbed the one that looks like tulips and the one I think that looks like hydrangea, which, I mean, I love all flowers, but hydrangea is my favorite flower. And I was like, okay, the little X's on that made me happy. So I'm just popping the little clips off the back. And then the little plastic pieces had some double-sided adhesive. Those come off pretty easy. Excuse me, you'll see me take those off in a second. But I'm going to use my Star Bond to adhere the little flower girls to the front of our picture boxes. Now here, literally, I'm just using my fingernail and applying a little bit of pressure. I'm not really, it's not taking that much effort to get them off. That's the only thing I was worried about, was like, oh, am I going to crack it? Will I break it? That actually that had no problems, no hiccups, no hitches, nothing. It was great. So I kind of lined it up and was just paying attention to where I needed to put the Star Bond at. And I put my glue there. Again, use your Gorilla Glue, use whatever glue you want. I love me some Star Bond, so I put it on there. Now, here's where my crafting heart almost broke, but everything is fine. So I'm using the Star Bond. That's not the problem at all, which you do not have to use accelerator with Star Bond. It just takes a little bit longer, maybe another 30 seconds to cure. You do not have to use the accelerator. In this instance, I took the time to push these all down. Now it is a malleable glue. It's not immediate, so you can move things around just a little bit. So I'm pressing them all down, and here's where it goes wrong. The accelerator. Oh, and I was like, no, please, no. The accelerator does not like ink. And it made, and then I'm like, oh, let me dab it. And then I was like, crap, I almost glued my baby wipe to my project. And I was just like, oh no. My husband's like, what's wrong, from the other room? I'm like, I'm having a problem. Technical difficulties. I'm going to go cry in the car. So then I'm looking at it and I'm like, what am I going to do? This is so bad. I can't leave it this way. So I was like, let me see if I could try to fix it myself with some Sharpie. Yeah, you guys, no. I mean, it was an idea. I'm just showing you how my brain was working. Maybe I can fix it. But I couldn't get like the purpley black smeared look off. So they wouldn't come off with tweezers, but the Star Bond hadn't cured 100%. Thank goodness I didn't have to replace the paper underneath there. But so I just ended up doing a new L and a new O and a new O. The B and the M were okay. They didn't get damaged in that process. And then I did the same thing for the grow. So GROW, and I did not use the accelerator. So lesson learned, the accelerator will make inks bleed. Good to know. I know that. I learned it. I'm sharing it with you. Hopefully my embarrassment isn't too bad. You guys, I fell down. I bumped my pride. Let me know in the comments, have you had an issue like that? And what do you guys think? Do you like them? Now, the grow doesn't show so much. The G kind of gets hidden. There was nothing I could do about that because of the way I wanted it to face. And I had already glued our little cute flowers here to the front of our picture frame, so I couldn't change the... Actually, you know what? It wouldn't matter. I couldn't change the direction because it's a square. It's the even amount on each side. So that's just, it is what it is. But I think they're great. And, you know, saved the project. It didn't get completely ruined, but, you know, that's what we're here for. To have these hiccups and show each other, you know, what fun is it if you can't make fun of your flops and then share them with the whole world? It's great. Look what I did. I messed something up. So that's it, guys. Technically there are 3, but it just feels like there were so many steps in this video. I know this is a longer video, so if you're still with me, give me a little heart emoji or a little flower emoji or whatever you want to do. Just say hi in the comments. Also, that helps YouTube know that you like me and suggest me, and that's like the best way to support, other than, you know, buy me a coffee once in a while, but we'll get to that in a second. But just let me know if you're still here, and if you are, thank you so much. I love you for it. I love all of these pieces. They turned out great. They're very springy, florally. Is that a word? Florally. I don't know. I love it. It just makes me happy. And a lot of times it's just happy, you know, jibber jabber that comes out of my mouth while I'm watching this stuff. I can't help but just smile. I love these things. And I love that you guys are able to enjoy them as well. So I have a coffee page. I want to thank everyone who has donated or bought me a coffee. If you like my videos, if you've learned anything and you should feel the need to, you can buy me a cup of coffee. It helps support my channel and keep me going. And with all that said, I want to thank everyone regardless of your status, whether you can donate or not. It's never required. It's always appreciated though. And I'm glad that you're here. So thank you so much. I love you more than I could possibly say in words. Many hugs, happy crafting, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.